For 15 years, DJ Bob has been your go-to source for pop culture, past and present. We eat, sleep, and breathe pop culture, just like you. He's interviewed countless fascinating people, from well-known names to everyday heroes.
DJ Bob connects with his guests on a personal level, exploring their stories, passions, and challenges.
He's not just interviewing, he's building a community of like-minded, inspiring, driven, and talented individuals.
Join DJ Bob as he delves into the world of entertainment and the conversations that matter on all levels. This is the DJ Bob Show. Roll it.
There's nothing more that I love about the holidays than being with friends. Bradley Freeman Jr. is with me. Muppet performer, talented dude, great friend, and we're here to talk about Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius's Holly Jolly Jimmy, the Christmas special. We talk about that, but we also nerd out about characters, the Muppets, children's entertainment, holiday specials, and so much more. I hope you enjoy this chat with my friend Brad. DJ Brad returns, everyone. Here you go. Brad, you lied to me. You said you never come back on the show, and then you're here.
That's all I do is lie. So
happy holidays, Brad.
Happy holidays, DJ Bob.
What better way to celebrate the holidays than geek out with one of my dearest friends?
Me? Oh, me?
Yeah, you. Yeah.
Oh my, I'm honored. Oh, thank you.
And it's gotta be refreshing sometime for you not to talk about puppets. And that's what we're here to do today.
It's a great point. Yeah, you're right. As much as I love puppets, as you can tell by everything happening in my background. Yeah, and they still came up. But it's fine. Most of this is gonna be it's gonna be cool to talk about something from my deep memory.
So I have to ask you, what is your connection with Jimmy Neutron?
I used to watch it. I used to watch it all the time. I really liked it. It was one of my favorite shows. Recently I started rewatching like a couple of episodes on Paramount. I say recently, this was a couple of years ago, but my friend and I just sat and watched it and we're just like amazed at how funny it still was and how in many ways it still holds up. I know the animation's maybe not perfect, but for some reason it doesn't slide into uncanny valley or anything for me, and it also doesn't read as bad animation. It's because it's so stylized that it almost feels like it could only ever be this style. I know that somebody who knows what they're doing, could make it look better. But to me, it just sort of reads as that style, and I just like it. It's fun, but it's like fast-paced and funny, and within its formula, makes it very, very enjoyable because they can fit so much into that formula. And the voice acting, top notch.
Yeah,
it's just so. I was thinking, especially with Hugh. Has one of the funnier voices, and it's very simple, but Hugh just has one of the funnier voices in like modern cartoons, I think. It's so silly and dumb, and everything about it is just, his delivery on everything is perfect, and it's such a specific voice.
When I spoke to him about it, he said it's almost like every time you talk, he's trying to get the words out.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
He's like, yeah. Like,
yeah, well, like it's all right. There's no real filter between his mind and the words. It just kind of sounds like the words go uphill and then kind of fall out. But he has to push them uphill in order for them to fall out. That's kind of what his voice feels like to me.
So yeah. So as far as the special, did you grow up watching this, or was this semi new to you?
It certainly wasn't new to me because there were pieces of it that I remembered. Like the moment he said Puel, I was like, I remember this. But definitely, like just rewatching it 10 minutes ago, This is probably the first time I've seen it since elementary school. Um, and I'm not sure that I've thought about it or had a reason to since then. Um, but I can see why it could be like people's favorites. I can also see why people maybe didn't think it was very good at all. Because when I was looking up like how to watch it, there were like 2 or 3 video essays on like worst Nickelodeon Christmas special ever. I was like, I don't know about all that. And so I was watching it and I'm like, oh, okay, it's just a Jimmy Neutron Christmas episode, and it's really cute, pretty charming. But that's about it. So I think for that reason, right? Like I didn't have a reason to think about it every Christmas. Like I'm busier thinking like, oh, I need to watch Home Alone and I need to watch Muppet Christmas Carol, I need, et cetera, et cetera. But it's cute and it holds up on its own, and it's a really fun it's a really fun episode for any kid Santa skeptics, like I
Yeah.
probably was at the time, because it's like, oh, Santa uses science to do it, magic science. This is everything I love. So I feel like it's very valuable for that reason.
And it shows you how much, like, I was 7 years old when the movie came out, and the movie and the TV show were done simultaneously around the same time
Mhm.
because they had so much faith in it. But when this special rolled around, I was into it straight up.
Mm.
And one of the things that I latched on to this special is the idea that Jimmy is trying so hard to kind of lose that kid-like innocence because he's so smart. And
Mhm.
then he remembers the joy of it.
Mhm.
That was really cool for me to see.
That was a really nice part of it, right? Where he sort of comes to term with that at the end. Also, I was kind of on, for the first time, on Cindy's side for a couple of moments where she was like, yeah, sure, Santa's not real, but you don't have to hurt Carl's feelings about it. I was like, yeah, you're right. You don't have to be rude about it. And not that Jimmy was being rude. He was just so in his own hyper focus on, whether Santa's real or not, that he didn't really realize what he was doing. But um yeah, like I like that he sort of came around at the end, and then they all get into this beautiful holiday spirit, and he puts the it's a nice sort of call back or come around to um him finally getting the star that took 5 years to cool down. Um Him finally getting that is a really nice way to sort of come back around, and it's like he's been real the whole time, and he did get you what you wanted. You just because of science, which is all of our favorite thing, you couldn't have it until it was ready for you.
You almost see him for a split second turn into that kid again without all the science, without
Mhm.
everything that he has amassed in his brain. It's like
Mhm.
it gets back to the innocence and it gets back to the core. Because even when he's with Santa at the workshop, he's still kind of skeptical.
Yeah, like he was explaining away all of the what about the elves? Oh, they're just short guys with an ear condition and stuff like that. And it's funny that he's just explaining away all of the obvious things around him. But also it got me wondering an interesting question. I think it's a series wide question, which is like, did Jimmy's parents know? And if they did they care how smart their son is? Like that he was like the fact that he has like a star.
You know for sure that the dad didn't.
Oh yeah, he couldn't piece that together. But the mom at least had some semblance of a brain. And I wonder if she, you know, I wonder if she could recognize the significance of like how smart her son was. I just don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell if it's one of those that's like, do they know he has a whole secret lab? And if they do, or they're like, oh, his lab is a mess. Like our son is just like, I'm sure every other 10-year-old, like if they're at some parents' parties, like, oh, and how's your son's secret lab? Is his always a mess? What do you do when his lab is a mess? Do you ground him? Like, I wonder if they have those conversations because they just think that everybody is like this, or do they just not? No, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. It made me curious.
In the first movie, he got grounded for flying the rocket. So, and then his parents went to space and turned into freaking aliens.
Yeah, you're right. I think they know and just don't care.
Yeah, I think they're just kind of used to it. But it's almost like he's gonna do whatever he does. They don't care to know more. They just know that he's
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Our son is advanced. That's a great way to. That's very funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That sounds about right.
so. Was there anything in this that surprised you? We've talked about Jimmy before, but I wasn't sure what your what your thought was gonna be.
I love the show. I think the show's very funny, and I watch it whenever it's around, and actively look up clips and quote certain moments. One of my favorite moments that I like to quote is the principal during the theater audition or Macbeth auditions.
Yes,
Just louder is one of my favorite things like ever. Um, and or just in general, Carl's sort of whole thing is just hilarious. Um, but I love the show. I think it's actually really it's just fun and it's a beautiful escape from everything else. It's it does a unique thing where it has its own voice, but is also like one of the most obvious ideas that no one else has really done, aside from maybe Dexter's Laboratory.
yeah,
But this was Jimmy was definitely more like just straight harsh comedy and fun, and also having Jimmy with that pair of like Sheen and Carl. Also, it really does like it's an obvious choice with so many non-obvious decisions that turned it into this beautiful thing. Like the idea of having Carl, who one would consider to be the nerd, right? Like in any other show, Carl would be the nerd because he's allergic to everything. He's always injuring his scapula one way or another. My
fabulous.
scapula. And then having Sheen, just this like really intense
Fanboy.
kid, just fanboy and being in love with Ultra Lord and having like and what's funny about Sheen, since I grew up, in a primarily Mexican culture, I didn't ever even I didn't realize he had an accent. I didn't hear it at all. He just sounded like everybody else. And then I remember some people describing, "Oh, Sheen, like the Mexican one." I was like, "What do you mean, He's just a." I didn't recognize it at all. And then I was like, "Oh, Sheen Estevez, yeah, that's a Mexican name." And then as I grew up, I started to hear his accent a little bit more, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's just because he sounded like everybody around me."
Well, then I found out that Sheen is named after Charlie Sheen Estevez.
Oh, duh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just put that together. That's crazy.
I found that out last week after Jeff Garcia passed away, and
Wow.
oh, because I talked to Jeff before he passed, and I said, like, where did Sheen come from? And he didn't bring that up, and I'm like, I I just find it so amazing that they had such faith in this property even before the movie came out that they were already working on this show.
Right. Right. Well,
That
they
would
they
never
they
happen now.
it was a very smart decision they made to use all of the money for the feature, because the feature had all of the money that you were going to put into a feature. It had all the money you were going to put into promotion, and they could put some of that aside because all of the movie promotion was going to end up being promotion for the TV series anyway. They could build all the assets on a feature budget and then use those same assets to make the television show instead of doing it the other way around. So doing like a hard launch with a pilot that's a movie was just a really smart decision. Plus, again, it's just such a good idea. It's such an obvious thing. It's what kids want to see, right? They want to see, and I wanted to see it. I loved it. I always wanted Jimmy's remote, like that little remote that he had that could shrink people and do. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it turned into a couple other things, but it was mostly like a shrink ray. That was so cool because it looked like it looked like something he could make in his lab. It wasn't like beautiful and sleek and clean. It was like kind of clunky and it looked like a remote that he modified very well, but that he modified to make his own. And he had his like retinal scan. Like I wanted to be like Jimmy Neutron. I really did. I also really wanted an Ultra Lord toy for a while. I think could have been kind of fun to have. Um, but
I used to have the orb, like the radio controlled orb that Jimmy would sit in, and you could,
oh, like that he could drive?
yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I definitely wanted one of those. And so it was, and then for marketing too, because every new invention was a new toy they could sell.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, like it's just the best idea.
And then you had the crossover with Fairly Odd Parents with the Jimmy Timmy
Dude,
Power Hour.
what a time. That was so exciting. The crossover, the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour crossover was
And the
so.
fact that there were three of them. There were three of them.
There were three. I remember the first two. I think I don't remember the third one.
I didn't either.
Wow, I didn't know there was a third one. But they were great. And then just like it was so awesome to see them in the animated styles of each other and interacting with each and just like, again, it's that magic and science coming together and none of it really even actually making sense. It just sounds like it makes enough sense that we're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's true. And we just don't worry about it anymore. It was so good. And then just again, all of the characters, Sam, who ran the diner or the what's the shop, the pop,
The candy bar.
the candy bar. Duh, yeah, the candy bar. Also a candy bar. That's so funny that they can go sit at a bar, but it's the candy bar, and that's where they go. And the kid is, yeah, 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 yeah. Like he just had that thing. And then Miss Fowl. What the heck? Who comes up with a character like that? And Andrea Martin playing her perfectly. But like how do you as a director describe to Andrea Martin? Yeah, she's basic. Imagine her mother was a human, but her father was a bird with very strong DNA.
Yeah.
So you're barely holding on to humanity as it is. And she's like, got it, and plays the character perfectly. It's such a weird, random thing that just, and her name is Miss Fowl. It just works. It just works. Everything about that show was such a random mess of chaotic decisions that all came together in such incredible harmony and made a very, very funny, character-driven show. Like all of the stories were driven by the characters, and the comedy was driven by the characters, and there's a lot of like sort of classic style comedy in it too, which is really nice. It's sort of just a, I don't know. It seems like the kind of show that could have ran for a long time, but it's also a good thing that it didn't because it remains so fond in our memories and it didn't flanderize itself.
What do you think of Planet Sheen though?
It was a good show, but it wasn't Jimmy Neutron.
I loved seeing him because I love Sheen. He's my
Yeah,
favorite.
Sheen was great. I think Carl's character, or that Carl character, I should say, was, I don't know, there was a lot of stuff that ended up being forced in there that shouldn't have been, right? Like Jimmy Neutron itself was a very organic idea. Planet Sheen was that thing of like, we're making a Smurfs 4, and they're just like doing stuff for the money.
And it came way, way after Jimmy.
That's true. I forgot about that. It came a good while
Like it came
after.
out in like 2010,
Yeah.
maybe. My mom loved Sheen, especially. So like when I told her that I knew Sheen thing was coming, she go hyped. And then we watched it, and it's like that disappointment thing where you look
Yeah.
forward to something and you're like, what was that?
Yeah, that's how I felt. I really wanted to like it. I remember really, really wanting to like it because I loved Sheen and I loved that idea. I thought he was one of the funnier characters on the show. I mean, they all really were standouts, but Sheen was definitely one of the funnier characters on the show, and all of his line reads and stuff were just amazing.
So it's really a masterclass in comedy. But the question that I was thinking about before we started talking was, you're exclusively, well, not exclusively, you do stuff with the Muppets and stuff like that, but for generally, you're exclusively in educational television.
Well, one would argue that Sesame Street used to be, and it still and remains to some extent, a comedy. but it's a tougher argument to make now than it was before.
It's more
It doesn't.
curriculum heavy.
It's more curriculum heavy, but it definitely used to be a comedy show that educated people, and now it's an education show that sometimes is funny.
So what is it like for you to watch something like this and think Nickelodeon didn't give a shit with any of the stuff that was being said? The jokes were relentless. The humor was relentless. I know it's two different schools of thought, but as someone who works in that space, it's got to be like, knowing that you're in it, it's got to be different for you watching this stuff.
It is, because I'm able to look at. I mean, there is a difference. So like, it's not to speak ill on Sesame. It's just it's a big organization, and they're figuring out what works and what doesn't, and it's always been an experiment. And right now on Netflix, actually, this new version of the show is definitely funnier than it had been in a good while.
Absolutely.
And that was really nice, because we're sitting on set and we're laughing and we're like, oh, this is what we've been talking about. And we're really hoping to see it like move more that way. Because there are a lot of really, really great moments that we filmed this past season, that we'll be seeing dropping very soon, actually, this month or next month. I'm not sure when the second volume of Sesame stuff comes out, but it'll be soon. So that's been really great, because there was definitely a while, watching Sesame, where it was more educational than funny, and it just loses you. It just loses you after a little bit. And I think everyone started to feel that, and they were like, no, we need to go back to the comedy aspect. And so then we're seeing a lot more of that. And then especially with Muppets, because Muppets doesn't have a curriculum, that's very comedy first. And so speaking of master classes in comedy, I get to sit there when we get the scripts and we're doing read-throughs and whatnot, and Bill and Matt and Eric and Peter and Dave and David are all sitting around, and they take an already good script and turn it into something that is incredible.
Top tier. Yeah, absolutely.
Top tier and very character specific, and the way that they like riff on the day. And then sometimes there's riffs that just, they work for right now that we're sitting reading it on the table. It's not going to work when we put it on its feet. But there's also riffs that like, and they know that that's not stuff that we're putting down. But there's also says like, no, that's just like classic comedy. Pepe has to say that, or he has to say it like this, because it means that Scooter can say something like this, or whatever the case is. So we get to see a lot of really cool, I get to see a lot of really cool and very funny people do some really cool and funny stuff, and just making small tweaks and edits and scratch this out and move this up and switch this around. Or even, it's happened before where the whole premise of a script just doesn't work, and it's like, why isn't this funny? And it's not funny because it's not what it actually is, but like, let's just say it's not funny because Piggy's motivation is completely false. Like, it's what people assume Piggy is when it's not actually Piggy. And the way to make it funny is to come at it from a completely different angle, so the whole thing would have to be rewritten. It's like, we know what you were trying to do, but it doesn't work because Miss Piggy is not actually, evil, right? She's not actually out to hurt other people. It's funnier when she's out for herself and accidentally hurts another person. But she also doesn't care when she, walks over Pepe to get up the ladder. But if she's planning on hurting Pepe, it's not so funny. But she wants to get up there and Pepe's in the way and she steps on him. That's what makes it funny.
Yeah. It's finding the button and finding the way to get in and out of the joke or in and out of a situation.
Yeah, and then just having a proper understanding of the character. And so I get to sit there and watch these folks and they rewrite and they rewrite. And, one of the beauties of being a Muppet performer that I'm not sure many other performers actually share, except for some of the folks maybe at SNL, or like if you ever watch or listen to the Lonely Island Seth Meyers podcast, I think they do a great job.
I love
exemplifying
that podcast.
It's great. They do a great job exemplifying this sort of Muppet energy, which is a good idea. Doesn't have to come from any one specific person, and no matter who it comes from, we are excited to throw it in there, and none of us need or want credit for any one specific thing. You know, it's like these three guys are sharing just this excitement and passion to make the funniest thing possible. They don't care that it's always Andy in front. There's not really like that resentment. They're proud that they wrote that funny joke that worked, and it worked well because Andy was able to make that stupid face, right? Um, and you see a lot of that, and you see a lot of just like they play with each other, and so that it's that same thing with the Muppets, right? It's like, you know, we are giving each other notes very often because we really respect each other and we want for this to be the best quality thing. And with most actors, you don't get that. We also, I shouldn't say very often, we are able to give each other notes. Um, and it's because we really respect each other's opinions. I'm always excited to get a note from somebody, and sometimes I don't agree with it, but it doesn't start a fight and nobody's hurt by that idea. You know, like I'm not hurt if I give a note and it's not taken because I know that they know that I'm not like trying to hurt them or sabotage them or that they think my idea is bad. Therefore they think I'm bad. No, no, no. It's just like they listen to me. It's like, well, and they're able to explain why they don't think it'll work. And sometimes it's just the note is not the right note, but you find the way around to what the product is actually supposed to be. So it's like, what if you did this? No, no, no. But in order to, I see what you're trying to do, and I can get there by coming around over here. Boom, there we go. We work together. That's how it happens. And that's not the culture in a lot of places where actors give each other notes or actors are like helping each other out because it's kind of dog eat dog in a lot of this. And you see a lot of folks that are just like, if I help them succeed, then I succeed less. There's not enough room at the table for both of us. And with the Muppets, it's more of a, if you succeed, the Muppets succeeds. And if the Muppets succeed, that's kind of what I want. I don't
Yeah.
care if I don't succeed as much. I want for the brand to succeed. These
Like
characters.
the Muppet is an ensemble cast. And
Absolutely.
I can't, and we went down that rabbit hole, and to say, like, I can't imagine that the Jimmy Neutron record session for something like this were nothing short of different from what you're expressing with the Muppets. Like, you can see they're in the same room together, back and forth, and like delivering lines. And
Were they actually in the same room together
yeah,
when they did this?
they did
Oh,
a
that's
lot of
awesome.
group record stuff.
Yeah, that's probably why the chemistry is so wonderful.
But like, did you sense that kind of energy when watching the show? Like now, when I brought this on to you, because I totally got it.
Yeah, I'm always hesitant to like assume that they're in the room together because they never are. But this is definitely one of those shows where you can hear that they're making each other laugh. And because they're trying to make each other laugh, you can hear they're having a good time. And if you're having a good time making it, we're having a good time watching it. That's a quote from Matt Vogel's wife, Kelly. If you have a good time doing it, we're going to have a good time watching it. And I think that's why I have a really good time watching Jimmy Neutron, because you can hear that they're having fun. You can hear that Hugh Neutron is trying to make somebody else laugh, or and even this just the even if it's the sound engineer on the other side of the glass and not, you know, the other cast member. You can hear it, you can feel it, you can feel the fun, and that's what makes it so fun and so funny, you know. And why the line reads are so interesting and weird and specific, because they're valid, but they're also funny, and that's like so important. It's just so important, especially in kids TV. You want to keep kids watching and you want to keep them engaged, and one of the biggest ways to keep them engaged is through laughter and making sure something's funny, something's quotable, you know, and that a character is impersonatable, somebody that you want to do that voice. Like everybody wants to do a Carl, everybody wants to do a Shane, you want to do a Hugh. Like they're voices that people want to replicate.
Everybody does the croissant, like the
Croissant.
yeah.
Croissant. Yeah, mine just sounds like Mickey. I do it. You like a croissant?
I love it. Yo, were there any highlights for you in this episode? Any lines that made you laugh? Any fun things?
Absolutely. There was a good the one where Puel is obviously not working, and um Jimmy's mom, what is her name?
Judy.
Judy, thank you. And Judy says to Hugh, "Oh, don't worry, dear. There'll always be President's Day." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, you're right. There'll always be President's Day." And he starts like crying. But it's the idea that this here's another holiday that he really loves, and it's President's Day, which is just so silly.
All he wants to do is celebrate pie and give
He's
people.
pie and Yule.
I love it. I love right after the musical number, which there rarely ever is on Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
Like there's just enough of a beat, and then she says, like, let's do a salsa number about Arbor Day.
It's just really, it's a good special. It's funny. I mean, it's a good show, and the good show that made a Christmas episode. And the episode is it's just as funny as the rest of the series because it just you can tell in the writing and in the delivery of all of it. It's made by people who are having fun doing what they're doing.
And they're all like they're all comedy writers, and it shows.
Which is really important.
Bringing it back to the Muppets and Sesame, I think Mazzarino would have fit perfectly on this show.
You know what? I can agree, especially because Joey's a really smart person and maybe could have even brought some more of that, not science specific, but more, even more of those like intelligent, cultured references that could educate people on certain things without people knowing that they're being educated. So like Jimmy Neutron is the only reason I know so much about the show Macbeth. I know it doesn't take place in space, but it's the only reason I know enough about Macbeth, and because the whole episode is surrounding that thing.
That is so etched in my mind. That one.
Yeah. It's a big episode. I don't know why that's one of the big like standout episodes, but that definitely is one of them for me. But yeah, I think he's a smart, cultured person who definitely could have brought a lot of great and funny.
Like I see Joey saying a lot of this dialogue, like especially a lot of Carl stuff. I think this is a comedy masterclass for kids, and we didn't even know it.
Yeah, I agree. It was funny. It was good writing. It was very character driven. And it could have like unknowingly served as an inspiration for a lot of us, people in my generation who have become performers, specifically me as a Muppet performer.
A thing that I wanted to talk about with you was the longevity of holiday specials, because you've been involved in the Macy's parade for so long, and obviously you have your core specials that you watch every year. What is the importance of making sure that a holiday special is timeless and the longevity is present? Because there are so many holiday specials that are lost in the time that they were made.
I mean, that's a big question. And I think this year, I went to go see Home Alone in concert, which is where they play the score, the orchestra plays the score live to the film.
That must do
it was great. It was great. Now, not only is Home Alone a great movie, but it also has an amazing score. And I was dissecting a couple of things. One, the music is timeless. Two, the movie itself is pretty timeless and good and fun. And it has that sort of cozy Christmas spirit. And that's what I was able to take from it. As for what creates a cozy Christmas spirit or feel, I'm not sure yet. But what I think I can say confidently is something that makes a Christmas special, any Christmas special, something that can really increase its longevity and give it that sort of timeless feel and quality, I think would be the music. I think music is extremely important because there's not too many Christmas specials that are enduring that don't have music or that don't have good music.
Well, this one, those couple songs, they're great.
I think they're great, but I don't think that they are that they stand the test of
No,
time.
they
They're not
don't.
super memorable, I think, to a general audience.
They're very story driven.
Yeah, they're not very memorable to a general audience, and you can't really sing them outside of
You have to know the special to really
for it to make sense.
get it. Yeah, like
Yeah.
and one of the specials that you and uh, I'm assuming here because I know how old you are and what you grew up on. The first Blue's Clues holiday special,
I'm sure I've seen it, and I don't remember
the
it.
one with Tyrese and like Winona Judd gets, it's like this crazy celebration of all the different holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa. And it's like these things are so impressionable to us as children that we watch them every single year. But what are some of your
hmm
core holiday specials and movies and shows?
So my core specials, I would say, gosh, I love Rudolph. I love a lot of those Rankin Bass ones, so I would say Rudolph,
My top is Frosty, so I get it.
Frosty. Yes, Frosty was second on that list. There's also the one where gosh, it's not the year without a Santa Claus, but it's like it's because I like that one too. I just
Santa
haven't
Claus
seen it as
coming to
much. I love
town.
Heat. Santa, thank you. Santa Claus is coming to town. That one I think is great. It's got that cozy feel for me, nostalgic feel. Home Alone 2.
See, I
I think they're
prefer
both
Home
great.
Alone 2 over the first one.
Oh, you do?
Which is
I
funnier
think they're
because
both really fun.
it's the exact same movie, but
It's the
there's
same
so
movie,
much
yeah.
more in it. You got the whole,
Yeah, it's dense.
you got the whole Tim Curry aspect.
Oh, yes. I love, yeah, that it makes it really special. And a lot of great classic moments in Home Alone 2. A sequel that actually stands up to the original in many ways, which is great. And how can you do that show? You can only many would say you could only do it once. You could for sure only do it twice. That whole concept. You could never do it a third time.
Well, they
It
did it
just
in
wouldn't
it.
work.
They did it 4 or 5 times, and it,
Speaks for itself.
yeah. How do you feel about Elf?
Oh, Elf, yes. Big Elf fan. Love that movie. That's probably I quote that movie year round for one, and then
Me
two,
too.
like it's an easy if it's on, it's staying on, you know. Um that is a gem. Love that one. Oh, it's so many that like my mind is looking at a wall of posters
Talk about Nickelodeon. How do you feel about the SpongeBob specials or the SpongeBob?
regularly through the year. I will the very first Christmas to me pops it is an earworm that has stayed in my head since the moment I first heard it well over a decade ago. That one stays in. Oh, Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
Sorry, that's another essential. That
Muppet Family
is
Christmas.
Muppet Family Christmas. I see a lot less, but I love just as much because it has that cozy feel. Um, and but it's not as accessible like on a streamer.
No, it's
So it's a
not.
little harder sometimes to come across. And it's definitely well because it's only available on, certain quality on YouTube because of all the characters that are involved. You can never get that on a streamer now. Um, I mean, what are some of yours? There's just too many to name.
I think a couple of mine. I talked about the Blue's Clues one. I love the Bear Christmas special.
Oh, I don't remember it.
I mean, Dave Gold's guest starred on it. He's like,
He does?
yeah, like, are you kidding me?
As what?
Remember that dog on Bear that Peter Lynch played the fire at the fire station on Bear?
No, I don't even think I watched the Fire Station years.
That was originally played by Dave Gold on Bear in the Big Blue House on that Christmas special for Bear. I also really like this. It came out later. It's not really. It's older, but it's still newish. It's an animated show called Prep and Landing.
Oh, I remember that.
Those
I
were
remember seeing
fun,
that.
and I know
That one's on all the time. Like if ever I'm at a restaurant that has
Bill
HBO.
Beretta did some music for that.
Bill Beretta
Yeah,
did music?
yeah, he sang in it.
That's random. Cool.
The specials that really that I latch on to are the ones that feel the most familiar to me. Like I'll watch things as if I'm a little kid watching them, and it's like Christmas is one of the only times of the year where a lot of people let out their inner kid.
Mm-hmm.
I brought it up because you're involved in this institution with Muppets and Sesame. So if you ever had the opportunity to do a Christmas special of any kind, that's going to be a real gift because you're going to be a part of people's holidays.
I'd love to do more. As of right now, the only Christmas special that I can think that we have, I feel like I've done two with Sesame, but the one that I'm remembering right now is Merry Giftmas that we just did. That's on Netflix now with Mark Rober.
I haven't watched it yet. I gotta watch it.
It's actually kind of fun. I enjoyed it. I wasn't sure what to think of it at first because it all happened so fast. So it was like, oh, did the script have enough time to like, get where it needs to be? And then I watched it and I'm like, oh, I'm pleasantly surprised. This is actually a very fun special. And we get to see the Sesame characters out of their elements. They sort of travel to Crunch Labs and they're making gifts for each other. And there's a lot of cool action and it's very Jack Jameson directed it, so it's got this like really nice feeling to it, and it's shot very well.
I love him. I haven't talked to him yet, but I love his work.
He's a great director. He's so much fun, and just like such a good guy. And I think I did one more where I was like just very slightly involved with something that we did for Christmas. Oh, we've definitely done like holiday episodes and stuff with Sesame.
You didn't do the Michael Bublé stuff with Matt, did you?
Oh yeah, I did. I did. I did the Michael Bublé Christmas in the City with Kermit.
That must have been really cool.
That was my second ever Muppet gig that I did. The first thing I did was something really quickly helping Miss Piggy live on stage with Darren Criss. And then the second thing that I did, it was actually the week that I found out that I was going to audition for Tamir, was helping out Kermit with this special. And it was incredible for many reasons. One of the reasons was we were shooting it from in Studio 8H, which is where they shoot Saturday Night Live. It was being produced by the Saturday Night Live team as if it was an episode of SNL. So Lauren was there and a bunch of SNL writers were there that put the whole thing together. And I got to actually see him. It was my first time in that studio. And if there are things that I'm a fan of, it's the Muppets and Saturday Night Live. Those are my things. And so being on that stage was great. I got to see that Grand Central clock. And then I have this weird experience where I'm sitting on the floor underneath the grand piano, assisting Kermit. So doing almost nothing. And Michael Bublé is right up there and he's singing like at me. And then Kermit is right here and he's also singing like at me because they're rehearsing stuff. And I'm just sitting watching. And I'm like, the way that people would pay thousands and thousands of dollars for this experience, and I'm sitting here getting paid to do it, is really incredible. And then Michael took us out afterward for drinks. So I got to have drinks with Michael Bublé, which was insane. And then he was explaining to us how he came up with the song "Just Haven't Met You Yet" and then started singing it, like just sitting there at the bar with us, like, and just have, and and I was like, he's what? This is crazy.
Like, what am I living? What am I living right now? What am I experiencing?
Yeah, like what is this? I can't believe this is happening. And the whole time that we were rehearsing and stuff there at 30 Rock, he was sitting. We were in one of Seth Meyers' dressing room because they share a floor, and so we were sitting in one of the dressing rooms for the Seth Meyers show, and Michael spent most of his time in our dressing room instead of in his because he's just such a huge Muppet fan. So we were hanging out with him for like 2 days. It was really, really cool. Yeah, so that was a good, but yes, I got to do that. So I got to be a part of that. I think that's one of the things that I was forgetting to say.
I'm so glad that we celebrated Jimmy and we celebrated the holidays together. I see that are you home right now? Like home? Or
finally, this has been a very intense, long year with a lot of travel and a lot of work, and I'm endlessly grateful and for all of the work. And I'm also very grateful that I get to be home right now. It doesn't mean that I'm not still busy. I have somewhere that I need to be very shortly, but I get to be home and I get to be back in my bed and I get to see my sister and my family, which I am so excited to get to do because I get to finish out the year here at home. So this makes me happy.
Thank you for taking time out of your time home to spend time with me. And
Of course.
again, I always say this, but this is our last episode of the year.
It is? You always say this is the last episode of the year?
No, but I always say this because this is our last episode of the year. But when we met, we instantly became brothers and friends and family. And I can't thank you enough for being a part of this journey that we've been on for almost 16 seasons. We're going into season 16 next year.
Congrats. That's great.
Which is crazy. But thank you so much for hanging with us and geeking out with us over Jimmy and your Muppets and other fun stuff. I appreciate you.
Anytime. Always happy to do it.
And where can people find you?
Find me on Instagram, at Bradley Freeman Jr. That's about it. Other than that, watch Sesame Street on Netflix. Watch The Muppet Show premiering on February 4th. I was involved with that. And what else is coming up? The volume 2 of Sesame Street drops very soon. I don't remember the exact date on that, but you can catch that on Netflix as well. The Pigeon is doing the Pigeon sing-alongs, and there's one releasing every week. And we just shot 12 more, so we've got about 4 more months of content, depending on how they want to handle the distribution of that. So that means we've done 22 original songs with the Pigeon. So that's very exciting. So you can check that out on YouTube. Yeah.
And I was thrilled by the nighttime routine one, because the people that wrote that for you wrote the theme song for my podcast.
Oh, really?
JP and Kat. They're wonderful.
JP and Kat. Yeah, we just did another one of their songs too. That'll be premiering sometime next year.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool. That's great. That makes me happy.
That made me, I know, it made me happy too. But thanks so much, Brad, and happy holidays. And
thanks, DJ Bob.
You're coming back next year, you know. We'll give you something to do. Well, that wraps up our shows before Christmas. You'll get one more themed episode the week after Christmas. But before the holidays really kick off, I just want to thank every one of you for listening this past year. Through the ups and downs, the hurdles and the celebrations, and beyond, thank you for being here. And more importantly, thank you all for being here for the last almost 16 years. Not a lot of people get to say that, and it is a true gift. Thank you to my entire team for sticking by me, for dealing with my craziness, and for making my dreams become a reality. Again, it's something I never imagined. So, to lead us into our holiday celebrations from the archives, it's a little story for you with the DJ Bob twist. The Night Before podcast. Until I see you next, happy holidays, everyone.
'Twas the Night Before podcast, and all through the house, not a screen was connected, not even a mouse. The Wi-Fi web router by the chimney was dark. No signal was lit, not even a spark. DJ Bob was restless, all snug in his bed, while worrisome visions danced in his head. He'd promised his listeners a brand new show, but without a connection, it's a no-go. When up on his desk there arose such a clatter, Bob rose from his bed to see what was the matter. His computer screen flickered like the color of snow and gave the bedroom an eerie bright glow. When what did Bob see racing full into view but elves in a minivan, color sky blue? And its little old driver, so cool and so slick, he knew in a moment, no way, it's Saint Click. The van, it sprang out of the screen with a sound that would have woken the neighbors had they been around. Fortunately, they'd already left for P-Town. The van screeched to a halt, "Geez," Bob did exclaim, as the little old driver started calling out names. "Come servo, come backup, come password, come flash, on cookie, on cache, on upload, on crash, to the top of the router at the end of the hall. Get to it, my ITs. Move it, y'all." They spoke not a word, but went straight to their work, while Click snarfed Santa's cookies. Definitely a perk. Saint Click, he did watch them. His smile was so broad, so proud of his helpers, he had to applaud. They fussed and they flummoxed, they made quite a din, until they noticed the plug wasn't plugged in. Then all the lights blinked and the connection resumed. Away they all dashed back to Bob's bedroom. They piled into the van, and just as Bob seen, away the van drove back into the screen. But he heard Click exclaim ere he drove out of sight, "Happy podcast to all. And Bob, get it right." That's what I'm talking about.